how do we, in civic terms, engage people, especially in communities that they feel left out, that they don't feel involved in their state and national politics?
Well, I think what we have to do is making sure that people have an avenue to be able to be part of that solution, but it has to be something that actually has a financial backing to it. Part of the challenge I think, we have with service initiatives is we look at them like they are just like they're volunteer initiatives. And while I think that's really important, the problem is that it's going to unintentionally leave a lot of people out because a lot of people can't afford to do that. And so by coming up with ways of showing that public service does not mean that you have to either take a vow of poverty or the public service is not something that you can only do as a side thing, that people can actually be involved in public service, and like we do in Maryland with our service year option, where it's a paid option for young people to be involved, and it actually incentivizes their participation. I think that's how you make service not just something that people do for a short period of time.
Having to convince your family to vote for you,
Yeah.
it got a laugh out of the public. It was cute.
But it's true.
It played well, is what I'm saying. But the truth is, how do we spread that message to the greater audience?
Yeah. Well, I think we need to both do two things simultaneously. One, we need to make sure we're giving people more avenues to be able to participate. Like, for example, in the state of Maryland, what we focus on, we have extended early voting period, that people can do mail-in balloting, and that people can do day of. So you have multiple means for people to make their voices heard. But you have to both give people an easier chance to vote, and also you got to give them someone to vote for. That the reason that members of my family were not voting wasn't just because we didn't have a long enough early voting period. They were kind of like, for what? What do we get out of it? What's the benefit? What's the difference? Because I'm not seeing a difference in my life, no matter who sits in these seats. And so that's why I think it just behooves us as public servants and people in these seats to not just give people a chance to vote, but give them something to vote for. Give them a reason to believe. And that's why I think these policies matter.
I always ask everyone, where did you come from and how did you get here? And you have an immigrant story that's really amazing.
I do.
I don't have it reserved only for Hispanics, but you are Cuban. I'm Cuban.
Yeah.
You're Cuban.
Is that right? Yeah, my grandmother
Tell me a
was
little
born.
bit about your story of
Yeah.
how your people got here.
So my grandmother was born in Cuba. My grandfather was actually born in the United States, but actually left the United States because the Ku Klux Klan ran him out, and went back to Jamaica, where he spent much of his life. He met my grandmother because she immigrated from Cuba to Jamaica, and that was actually how they then came to the United States. And so my mother was born in Jamaica, immigrated to this country, and I'm really proud, if you look at our state, that when I was inaugurated and when my lieutenant governor was inaugurated, that we just steps away from us were our two mothers. My mother, who immigrated from Jamaica, her mother, who immigrated from India, who are now watching their two children being inaugurated as a governor and lieutenant governor of a state that helped to welcome them.
Amazing. The best question I asked you. Thank you
Yes.
so much for indulging me.